So we're going to make this kind of mask. Handmade mask. So let's start. We need a cloth. Fold it into half. Around 8 inches. We will be using this old mask as our guide. Okay, so let's first measure it. Its length is around 7 inches, and the width it's 6 1/4 inches. So we're going to measure from the length of 7 inches, right? So we're going to add an allowance of half inch on the edges. First measure the edges, half inch. Inch. Now we're going to measure from the edges, following the length, 7 inches, right? 7 inches. From there to here, 7 inches, like that. 7 inches. Another 7 inches. Now we're going to connect all the dots together. Okay, so we're done with our length. Then we're going to add another half inch with our length. Half inch similar to here on the edges. An allowance of 7 half inch. Sorry. Let's connect all the dots. We're going to add additional allowance here also on the edges of half inch. So half inch, half inch, half inch, and then let's connect all the dots. We are not going to give an allowance here since it's already closed. We are not going to stitch here. So now let's cut our cloth from the extra allowance that we have given. Okay, so we have our... Now, we are going to sew it on our lines, inside lines, or the exact measurement of our mask. First, we're going to sew down. We can sew here using a running stitch or back stitching, any you can use. So let's start. So I'm using here running stitch. And one time back stitch. Running stitch. Simple stitching you can use. after sewing that line, let's measure only one allowance of 1/2 inch on both ends. 1/2 inch there and 1/2 inch here. Okay, 1/2 inch there and 1/2 inch down. Similar to other side. 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch. Now what we're going to do is we're going to sew, leaving a 1/2 inch allowance on both sides. We're going to sew there to here. You could use the running stitch and back stitching, not a problem. There to here. Similarly, I'm using running stitch and one-time back stitch just to hold the stitching. You just have to follow the lines. Okay, I'm sorry about that one. We're not going to sew this one, only the other side. Now we're going to reverse our cloth. Before reversing, let's cut some edge part. Only a little bit, triangle there. Reverse it. So try to flatten the stitching. If you have an iron, you could do that. So I will be just using my fingers to push through on the stitching. Okay, after reversing our cloth, we have to fold in based on the line that we make from the allowance that we have given. So fold it in on all sides and try to flatten it up. Okay, so there's a small hole in both sides there. So what we have to do right now is to fold this into half. This is the length and the width. Fold it into half. Okay, not here but there. Measure 1.5 inch. 1.5 inch on both sides. 1.5 inch. 1.5 inch. 1.5 inch. Okay. So we're going to hold that one. Pin. So mark it. Okay. So now we're going to open this one flatten it. Flatten it up. And then hold with a pin. Same to the other side. Open and flatten it up. Try to make the folding balance. So let's put some pin. Okay, similar to this one. Side there, the elastic for an old mask. Since you cannot go out to buy the elastic, I'm going to make this one, both side. Okay, so I have two elastic here. All we have to do is make a knot at the end. Try to make it like to the lowest as you can. Make a knot on both sides. Try to pull it tight. Okay. So similarly with the other one, make a knot. Okay. The reason we're making a knot on this one because this elastic is round and it's difficult to attach or be sewn with our mask. It might come out. So we're going to insert this one on both ends. And on both ends. That's why I leave an allowance of 1/2 inch on both ends a while ago. We're going to insert that one. Okay. And then sew it straight. Sew it from there. Using a back stitch, full back stitch. Try to sew it through with our elastic so that it will pop out easily. make a knot there. Then make a knot. There, we're done with our mask, handmade mask.